welcome to MindShock Sports. This is your host, Bruce McGREGOR, and we are here logically analyzing McGregor vs. Holloway 2 post-fight analysis from one of the most disappointing UFC throwdowns in recent history. We will be taking a look at this with logic and reason at the forefront, unlike anything else out there. I see a lot of logical fallacies in examining this so-called fight. So, in typical MindShock fashion, we will be diving deep here with some truly logical and objective analysis. If you want to help support the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Check the link in the description. Make sure you're subscribed, like, and share. Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Patreon. Patreon's a good priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcast requests. You could also be a guest on the podcast, depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind. Leave them in the comment section. Unless, of course, you're with us here live. Drop them in the live chat. I'll try to get to all of them. And you could also be a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Help support the podcast that way. 1 second here. Let's get the audio levels a little better. Okay. That should be better. Okay. So, again, massive spoilers here. So if you haven't seen this fight, not that it's a long fight, but we'll be doing some fair use here in assessing the video footage. I don't know why nobody's talking about the real reason for the injury. I don't know if I mentioned it last night or not in our companion stream. Shout out if you were here for that. We only do those for the bigger fights. I don't do those for every single card. But this previous UFC card was actually one of the better ones in a long time. Welcome, Scott Hawkins, Christopher Allen. Christopher Allen says, I didn't see the fight, but I'm here for the logical analysis. Well, you're about to see it right now because fair use here. There's about to be a whole lot of fair use in the fight. So let's take a look at this fight. Fair use, obviously. All of the fair use up in here. So look at all this fair use on the screen going on right now. Look at this fair use. The amount of fair use here is just astronomical. If people don't know, this is fair use. Right here. Fair use.
Presenting the former UFC.
Look at how bouncy Conor is. Some people are saying he had a pre-existing knee injury. I don't know about that. I mean, he's putting weight on it like practically with reckless abandon, without a concern in the world. Just walking back. I mean, it looks like he has no concern about his knee holding up. He looks like he doesn't really have a concern about either leg, because the left is the one that he broke. The right is the one that he injured last night. So, and I'm going to be going into something that I don't think anybody's talking about either, in why that happened. Because if people are saying his injury never healed, you would expect the same leg to give out, right? In the same spot. But that's not what happened. Fair use. Still fair use. There's still a lot of fair use here. Look at all of this fair use. Could there possibly be any more fair use than the fair use that's going on the screen right now with the fair use? I don't know. People, like, Conor was unusually calm in the walk-up and the lead-up, but right here, I don't know, he looks ready to go. Other people are alleging that he's kind of zonked out on painkillers.
The sound of the bell, come on out. Handle your business.
I mean, if you have a torn ACL, MCL, I don't know if you could nonchalantly walk backwards like that. Like, who here's had knee injuries? Like, I've blown out each knee before, too. I've never blown them up both out at the same time. So, that I haven't done. But I've blown them out badly and not badly. Like when it's not badly, you can still kind of you can put partial weight on it and quickly. So you can still walk, you just don't want to put a lot of weight on it for too long. So you'll do like a quick step with the back knee and then immediately with the bad knee, then immediately shift your weight to your good knee. So yeah, hold on 1 second here. Okay, the reason I'm laughing, hold on. You'll find out why I'm laughing in a second. Oh, man. Alright, hold on a second here. Okay. This is gonna be funny. This is gonna be really funny. YouTube being slow again. Hold on, I'm gonna get this super funny clip on the screen because it's sort of relevant. Kinda sorta relevant here. YouTube is just always really, really slow. Come on, let's go. Let's go. I'll let this play while we're waiting. Look at that. He's spending equal time on both knees there. I don't know. If you have a blown knee, torn ACL, MCL, I don't know. Can you cover it up like that? Can you be doing jumping kicks? Welcome, Sandra. In the chat here. I don't know. I mean, even if you have an incredibly high pain threshold, the issue is your body just won't let the weight support, even if you're not in pain. Like, when your knee's all torn up, it's not weight bearing. So it doesn't matter whether you feel it or not, it will collapse on you. So yeah, a lot of goofery going on Twitter. Everybody's melting down. So many people with Connor derangement syndrome over the civil assault trial, the Nikita Hand trial. So many goofs endlessly melting down. If you want to check that out, check out my Twitter. It's so funny. These retard maxers are cope spiraling endlessly over all of this. It's hilarious. Hilarious. Non-stop goofery. If you find this kind of goofery and retard maxing entertaining, definitely check out my Twitter. I document all of these goofs cope spiraling. Very predictable projection cope spiraling, where their subconscious just starts exposing themselves in their pathetic lives. It's hilarious. Hilarious. Okay. So here's the clip I was actually going to show that's kind of relevant. We might have to play this multiple times today. Fair use here. For people who haven't seen this. I'm not going to say what it is. If you know what it is, you know what it is. But just watch through. Fair use. Still fair use here. And some people say he's like on a ton of steroids, HGA, like growth hormone, all of this. And he was. So for those that don't know what happened, he just blew out both his quads. Not one, he blew out both. I don't think I've ever seen something like this happen before. So, I don't know his pain threshold. I mean, clearly it's probably painful, but it's not like it's the most painful thing ever. He just can't move, and they're not weight-bearing. So you can be jacked up on steroids and still blow out your knees or quads. So some people, so the theory here is, again, I'm just speculating, I'm just spitballing here, I'm not claiming anything's true and true. If he was like working out backstage, like hardcore, and then look at this explosiveness right here. I mean, he just sprints in and he tries to support himself on his legs, blows the first quad, and then the second one blows. And it's kind of funny because Vince McMahon's a scumbag, so it's kind of funny to laugh at him here. But yeah, just for people to see how different injuries can happen, and again, a lot of goofs think that Connor, it's his age or whatever, but plenty of people in their 20s, younger guys, they get injured. I mean, this is obviously it's not the most common injury ever, but it happens. Fair use here. Still fairly used. Look at all this fair use going on the screen right now.
Challenge in front of McGregor. Way moves up to 170 pounds to welcome McGregor back.
So look how he just pushed off of his right knee there. Explosive. Steps on the left. Full weight. Fast twitch explosion off of the injured left after he pushed off full speed, full power, full weight on his right knee. And then this is where the injury happened. His leg is like way out to the side. That's kind of weird. His foot's turned out. And it's blown. Actually, that's kind of weird. I thought, so this is my first time rewatching it, other than little clips. If it was fully blown on the first kick, here he is putting his full weight on his right knee again. And it holds on the way up and not on the way down. So it looks like most of the damage was probably right there then. Most of the damage was probably not even on the first kick. Fair use here. And look, Max misses. Good defense from Connor. Max blocked again there. Oh, that one landed. That one missed. So he only landed like one real shot so far. And look how effective Connor is at defense. Like, there's no reason to stop this fight, even with a blown knee. That's the thing that's kind of weird. Like, why would the fight be stopped? Why would the fight be stopped? It's kind of weird. Kind of weird. Fair use. And again, Connor rolls with that one, blocking it, no damage. Blocks that one, no damage. Tries to upkick, missed. And that's, he tried to upkick with his bad knee. He just tried to upkick with his blown knee. Yeah, this is kind of weird. Like, how blown is your knee if you're trying to do vicious upkicks with it? I might even have to say most of the damage did not even happen on the second kick. Alright, if we had to guess hit points, I don't know, what? Minus 10, minus 20 on the first kick? Minus 30 on the second kick. So he's still got some hit points in his knee. I think his knee still has some hit points here. Ooh, that was a decent shot. That one, not really. So maybe 2 punches from Max that kind of landed for real. That one blocked easily. I mean, Connor's defense, even here with a blown knee, his defense is pretty good. He didn't really take any actual damage. Now that's an upkick with his previously broken foot from the previous fight. Max misses with the leg kick. And it holds! It holds up! He just put all his weight on his right leg and it held. All the weight there held again. Oh, look at nasty Max going after that knee. That's nasty, Max. That is nasty. Fair play, but nasty. Austin MP says, I think Connor was hurt, went through with it, used a dramatic move to have an excuse. Now only one fight on the deal and no extra damage. Okay, have you been paying attention here? No extra. That's like the most dangerous thing ever. If his knee was really blown, to go for kicks like that. Okay, look, it held up there too. Let's watch that again. Even on that punch, this fight's longer than I remember, isn't it? It felt so short last night, but like a lot of things have happened here. Fair use. Boom! Look at that. He snaps on his right. It holds up, and now he steps again. It holds up. Max kicks it. Whatever. And then he throws that punch, and it holds up again for some... I don't remember this punch here. I don't remember this punch from last night, but he just threw a big left, all his weight on his right leg, and his right leg held there.
McGregor back to his...
Held there again.
30 seconds.
Slipping around.
Blocks with it, no problem. Held again for the weight support. But is he losing like 5 hit points on his knee every time it's holding? So every time it held up here, did he lose -5, -5, -5? How much is left? 10, 20 hit points in the knee? Look at that, held up again. Because if you've blown your knee, like as we just saw with Vince McMahon, like Vince McMahon blew both quads. Let's watch it again if we just got here. So he just blew both his quads. So they're just not, they're no longer, when you fully blow your knee or your quads, they're no longer weight bearing, regardless of how much pain you can handle. So here's McMahon, right here, first quad blown, second quad blown. Both quads blown, he can't get up. We could all point and laugh at the scumbag Vince McMahon, but he's got, so he blew both quads. So when you're, where were we? So, to just have full weight bearing while leading with that leg, and I think that's the moment the hit points went to 0. Because look at how many times McGregor's knee held up before this moment. Before this moment, it held up so many times. It's a little bit of a mystery, but I will attempt to solve it. I do have a theory, the Bruce McGuire theory. I haven't seen anybody talk about it. I actually don't even remember if I mentioned it last night. Austin MP says the ref saved Max. Oh, Austin, that's funny. That's funny. I haven't heard that one yet. Austin says the Mohawk was off-center and it hurt his balance, broke his knee. I haven't heard that one either. Okay, that's interesting. Sandro says he should have switched to southpaw to protect his right leg. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. One more thing I want to mention, because I might forget to mention later. Normally, when you have an injury going into a fight, like Sakuraba had notoriously bad knees, and sometimes one was worse than the other, normally you would wear a knee brace on your good leg to fake your opponent. This is what people have done in wrestling too. Wrestling, MMA, kickboxing, in combat sports. A lot of times the guy would wear the knee brace on the good knee. So that way the opponent would attack the good knee and not the bad one. Or you wear 2 knee braces. So they don't know which one's the good one. If you actually need the support, you wear 2. You don't wear 1. So that way, at least the onslaught on the knees will be evenly distributed instead of just permanently targeting the bad one by your opponent. Connor didn't wear any knee brace or ankle brace. I think that's where he ran out of hit points on his knee, though. And see, here it no longer holds up. He was trying to stand, and it no longer held at that point. Now, why not keep fighting, though? Like, this is kind of weird on Mac's part. Yeah, the guy, people blow knees, people break shoulders, break elbows. Like, it's a fight. Like, it's kind of weird. Get injured, like, people get injured in fights all the time. So, Rogan mentioned that Connor actually blew his knee out in the first Mac's fight. For some reason, I don't remember. I do remember him having issues with his knees. Not to the point of full blowouts, but I mean, again, that happens in many fights, many kickboxing fights, MMA, whatever. Like, you don't just look at the ref to stop the fight. Like, what does his knee have to do with grappling? Like, why not jump on him, ground? I mean, Connor, I mean, maybe he'll get a submission or, like, at least engage in the fight. Like, you don't need a knee for ground fighting too much. So this is kind of weird on Mac's part.
What's going on with his leg?
That was a solid shot, too. So that's like 3rd solid shot for Max, I think. All the other punches. Once again.
Feels
I mean, Connor should have been throwing up triangles, gogoplatas, go for a knee bar, whatever.
as though McGregor
Slipped that one pretty good. Slipped that one.
Beltran said
No damage. No damage.
work.
But that was a decent up kick. I actually didn't notice that he kind of landed that one. Man, Connor's really good at slipping those while he's on the ground. And I think I meant... Ooh. Oh. That looks like it might have been painful. So Max held his foot while torquing his leg. You know what else is interesting? I mentioned this last night. Like, a lot of times when people injure a knee or an ankle or whatever, they'll pull guard. Or if they're just exhausted, like a lot of grapplers. There's no looking for the ref. There's no stopping the fight. Injured, exhausted, whatever. You pull guard. You keep fighting. You butt scoot. Who remembers those fights where... Was that Shinya Aoki? There were guys who would literally... I think Nagara did it a few times. They would just sit on their butt and scoot towards their opponent because they want the guy to come in for ground and pound so they could submit them. Like, they don't want to stand and fight, even when they were uninjured. Like, there's so many ways to fight without a knee. Hold on one second. So yeah, I don't know why people, like, why is Max looking for the ref to stop the fight?
Oh, man.
I mean, he's not anymore here, but... Like, he can't even hit Connor. Like, he can't even do any damage.
He just keeps falling every time like that.
Yeah, not good.
Every time he...
Oh, wow. It's sort of held up there, too.
Something wrong
And
with his
there.
leg.
It still has a little bit of hit points. This is crazy. So here's where I think Connor really made the mistake. Connor could have went for a shot off his left leg, right? He could have shot off his left leg. Or he could have tried to pull guard. Flying go-go plata. Are you telling me? Or flying triangle, flying armbar. Are you telling me Conor McGregor doesn't train flying submissions? Thomas says, there's people who are born with no pain receptors. It's dangerous when they're babies because they won't even cry with serious injuries. Yeah, you're talking about SIPA? Congenital insensitivity to pain with anhidrosis. A pretty rare disease, but there's a few other ones that are kind of similar. But yeah, no, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just some people just have a really high pain threshold. So that you could just ignore pain. Like, you feel it, but you can ignore it. But again, that's different than whether or not a limb is weight-bearing, regardless of how much pain you're feeling. So, Austin MP says Ryan Hall, whole career. Austin MP says Connor won on point. Did he? Oh, I mean, I don't know. Did he? Were we like, no, he didn't, because he didn't land. He landed one up kick, and Max landed like 3 decent shots and like a couple of scraping shots. But yeah.
That's that leg. It's the
Like, what? Why is Max? See, I'm blaming Max here. Why is Max doing that? Attack the guy. Like, it's not... If Max rushed in here and Connor hit him with a hard shot, like, the fight's over. Yeah, his knee hurts. Yeah, it's a fight. I mean, guys break shoulders, guys break ribs. Guys break jaws and continue fighting. It's a fight. Like, actually, Max's antics here, nothing Connor did made me think it was a fix. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, Connor was already injured and this. Like, nothing Connor did make me think it was a fix. Now I'm starting to think Max was the one in on the fix. Why are you doing... It's a fight.
Leg that he broke.
And people are like, oh, Conor wanted an easy way out. Where's the easy way out? Where is Conor saying I give up? Where is Conor waving off the fight? Conor wants to go. Now here's Conor's second mistake. He now knows that Max is going to gesture to the ref, or they're both in on it. If it's a fix, then maybe they're both in on it. But from everything I've seen, I don't think Conor is exclusively... I don't think Conor is the only party here that is guilty of a fix. Either they're both on it, or it's just Max and possibly the ref. I don't think... because here's Conor's second mistake. Now, he knows Max is going to gesture to the ref. He knows his knee is gone or going. Now, dive for a takedown. You have to do something. Stand on your left foot, jump off your left, kick with your left, and land back on your left. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Conor actually do that? Like, I don't know about not in a fight, but wasn't there training footage of Conor doing that? Like a long time ago, years ago? Where he did a same leg jump kick, same leg takeoff and landing? But here's the big mistake of Conor, because Conor should have done something here to control the fight. Jump off your left with a diving takedown. You might get him down, maybe not, cause a scramble. Don't put... And yeah. Why would you do that? You know your leg is gone. I mean, it was kind of intermittently gone. Like, it was holding up here and there, so maybe he thought it would still hold up. And that's the moment it no longer held up. But even here... I mean, I don't know. This is crazy. This is pretty crazy. And even here, because you can fake an injury. It's not against the rules to play possum. Guys have done that too, right? There's guys that would they would get a body shot, and then they would grab their liver as if they're hurt real bad. And the ref didn't stop it. Like, why would you stop it? The guy's jumping in with a punch, and then counter, bam. I forgot, there was one famous fight where his opponent got knocked out. A guy played possum. It was in the UFC, but in Pride, a couple guys did. In Pride FC, a couple guys did that as well. Austin MP says Conor can't retire until he fights Nate Diaz 3 times in his own promotion. 3 times. Austin MP says, I remember that. Yeah, I forgot who the guys were. I don't think they were either one was that famous. But like, playing possum is not against the rules. Thomas in the chat says, I waited 3 days to go to the hospital with a double pulmonary embolism. The ER doctor couldn't believe I walked in my own. Well, that's a little different. That's a little different. I'm talking about like sports type injuries. Like, that's crazy. I mean, I've broken stuff and not gotten it taken care of. Kind of healed a little messed up, but, you know, whatever. But yeah, no, if you've blown knees, like, there's 2 different types of blown knees. There's a blown knee where you can still kind of sort of put weight on it, and then there's a completely blown knee. You cannot put weight on it at all, which it looks like it got completely blown here, unless you're of the camp that thinks Conor is faking this. Look at all this fair use on the screen right now. But even here, why is the ref stopping it? I think the goof ref... and look how upset Conor is at the fact that it's being stopped. Like, I don't understand the goofs that say, oh, Conor wanted an easy way out. Look how pissed Conor is at the ref. I'm blaming Max because of his gestures. If not for Max's, like, soy boy gestures here, let's not fight because the guy hurted his knee a little bit. It's crazy. Like, the guy's fully standing up with his hand, like, he's ready to go. It's not like he fell down and he couldn't move, right? That's a little different, right? Like, if his knee was completely broken backwards or whatever, that's a slightly different situation. Right now, he has a blown knee, and of which the true severity is not known. Guys have totally blown knees in many fights before and continued to fight on it because their opponent wasn't a pansy making gestures to the ref. Oh, let's stop the fight because his knee hurts a little bit. And he flinched on it. Like, this is some weird next level goof. This is a fight. Injuries are gonna happen. Like, to me, Conor's body language here is so pissed at the ref for stopping it. And I'm not 100% sure. See, I'm annoyed with Max for his soy boy gestures. And let's stop the fight because the guy's hurt knee is injured a little bit. An unknown amount. Look at Conor's arms. He can punch. He can shoot for a takedown off one leg. Let the guy fight. Like, this is crazy. Would he win under those conditions? I have no idea. Do his chances drop precipitously? Absolutely. But that Hail Mary power, like, it's not like guys haven't won on one leg before. There's countless fights where a guy had a major knee injury, ACL tear, MCL tear, and they went on to win the fight, sometimes by decision. Sometimes they went, like, several rounds with a blown knee. Let the guy go. Like, this is crazy. It's not like Max was raining down bombs and Conor couldn't do anything about it. There have been fights where a guy blew a knee and he was literally sitting in a butt scoot and he couldn't really get up, but he was butt scooting towards his opponent. He was aggressively moving towards his opponent. I'm pretty sure that was Shinya Aoki. Austin MP, was that Shinya Aoki? The ref didn't stop nothing. I don't know if Shinya blew his knee, though. I think Shinya wasn't injured. I think he just wanted to butt scoot because he wanted to go. But that's not illegal. Butt scooting towards your opponent is not illegal. So there's so many different options here. The fact that this got called early and Max's gestures, like, I don't know. That's more sketchy than anything going on with Conor. Austin MP says, do you remember Gomi trying to get the ref to stop Diaz while he was getting destroyed? Not really. I only watched that fight once. That was the fight where Gomi was out all night partying in Vegas. That was Gomi's first night in Vegas, right? He was supposedly gambling all night and didn't sleep because he thought Nick Diaz was an easy fight. Which, okay, call me crazy, Austin MP. Under normal conditions, Prime Gomi destroys any Diaz. Nobody talks about Takanori Gomi anymore. I mean, that guy was good. That guy was good. Maybe a little too small. I don't know. For some, like, Nick Diaz is kind of big, but, yeah, he's been retired for a while now, but, yeah, he had one of the best runs ever. One of the best runs ever. But, yeah, man, Gomi, it's a shame Gomi was gambling all night, as the story goes. It would have been awesome to see what would happen. I don't remember that fight at all, though. Austin MP says Nick Diaz smoked a blunt on the way out. Austin MP says a Ram truck would run over a fighter. You would say bad stoppage, but I agree here unless Conor asks out. See, Austin MP, hold on a second. Did you need to watch last night's stream? I specifically chastised a ref, I don't know if it was Herb Dean, for a super late stoppage. I don't even remember which fight it was now. Because the guy was done, and he was just letting the guy take countless damage for no reason. So watch your mouth, Austin MP. Yes, usually the stoppages are early, but I really chastised a ref last night for a super late stoppage. There was a super early stoppage, then a super late stoppage, and then a moderately late stoppage. But this is egregious. Oh no, he hurt his knee a little bit. He can't put full weight on the knee. Let's stop the fight. Like, what kind of crack smokers are they all here? I'm surprised Dana White wasn't more pissed. It's a fight. Like, guys are gonna break ribs, break arms. Like, it happens. Let them fight. It's so stupid. Was that the Gable fight that was a late I don't remember which one, but one of the stoppages I thought was crazy late. Crazy late.
That's gonna do it. Oh,
look how pissed Conor is. Look at the retard Maxers online saying Conor wanted an easy way out. Look how pissed Conor is right here.
My goodness.
I'm surprised he didn't hit the ref.
Anticlimactic and end as though
He should have been pissed at Max because the ref was totally influenced by Max's soy boy gestures. Oh no, look at his knee. I mean, look. You can say that Max was kind of classy, but, I mean, injuries happen all the time. Guys fight with one leg and one arm all the time. There was even one fight. Which fight was it? There was a guy, I don't know if it was a kickboxing or MMA. It was in Japan. A guy broke both arms. He could still kind of sort of move them, But yeah, I forgot what that fight must have been from the early 2000s. Yeah, it was crazy, but I mean, you don't really know the extent of the break. Like, is it a micro? Like, is it is it like just a small fracture or like a hairline fracture? Like, you don't know. But injuries happen. It's part of the game. If the guy wants to fight, let him fight. Like, why are you stopping the fight? It's so stupid.
There's some injury he's dealing with.
But why did his right leg?
Is it his ACL or something?
And didn't want disappointment.
Oh my! Kick.
Oh,
The
yep.
first kick.
All right, so let's go to the receipts now. Let's go to the receipts. So that's actually kind of curious that his right knee held up multiple times after the first 2 kicks. So let's go to Exhibit A here. Let's go to Exhibit A. So a lot of people are saying that Conor's knee was jacked up even before he got into the octagon. And that taking his shoes off, he did a little an off-balance wobble. Look at all the fair use here.
Inspection zone.
So, who has ever taken off their shoes like that? If you do that 10 times, you're gonna wobble at least once. I've done that without being injured. It's weird to take your shoes off like that. Because obviously he's got the gloves on, he didn't want to do it with his gloves. It's weird to do that. Like, if you've been watching MMA for a while, a lot of fighters wobble a little bit when they take their shoes off. So, I don't put stock in any of that. Because look at, he puts all his weight on the right leg after. So, you would think if it's his right, like, he would go to the left. Unless people are saying the left is injured. But it looks like he just got a little off balance there.
Entered the octagon zone.
Because keep in mind, he's also got the flag draped and he's holding the flag. And you got your adrenaline pumping and all that going. So he wobbled here for sure. But on which leg? Because the wobble happened on the left. Not the... I mean, it just looks awkward. He just got off balance. Because he's on his left right now. And he turned his left and wobbled. So are people saying the left is the injured one? But he blew out the right knee. Or are people saying the injury never fully healed and he has 2? I haven't heard that he has 2 injuries going into the fight. I've heard people say that the right knee was injured prior. I haven't heard anybody claiming it's the left and the right. But this off-balance moment is on the left, and then he puts watch this, he puts all the weight on the right with no issue. So, if there's an injury that's being exacerbated by taking off the shoes, it's on the left, not the right, based on what we just saw. So, okay, that's Exhibit A. So, I don't see that as anything indicative of the right knee, of any issue with the right knee. Here's an interesting analysis here, which we'll watch. Viewer discretion is advised. Fair use here. I don't even know what this is from.
His right knee repeatedly buckled after landing from his first kick versus Max Holloway, forcing the stoppage and leaving many questioning when.
But notice how there was no weight there.
When the injury occurred. Let's break this down.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Some believe this proves McGregor's right knee was injured.
But there was no weight there. See, if you have a load-bearing injury, it's not going to hurt when it's not load-bearing.
Before the fight.
So, I don't know what this guy's talking about. So, okay, actually, before we get into this, yeah, let's look at the full footage from the pre-fight warm-up. Because this pre-fight warm-up is very interesting. So, in the pre-fight warm-up, I'm saving the McGuire theory for last, but it's a good one. I mean, look at him effortlessly jumping off the right leg. And look how lackadaisical he is. Like, if you have a major injury, so look, he's got full weight on his previously broken leg. Jumping off of it. And here, notice how his right foot's turned out a little bit, but not a lot. But that's still turned out a little bit more than most people. I don't know if I would land like that. I don't think I would land with my foot that turned out. I would land closer to this position. Already. So that's kind of like a dangerous landing. I didn't really notice him doing that in the past. Austin MP says, too much science, you gotta just eyeball it. But again, if it's previously injured, I mean, look at it easily holding his weight. And look at how lackadaisical. He's not favoring any leg. Like, he's walking very comfortably here. He's not walking gingerly. So again, anybody who's injured knees, ankles, quads, whatever, even when the injury's fully healed, you might slightly favor your dominant leg just because, like, almost subconsciously. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. But I don't like how much he turns out his right foot when he lands. That just doesn't look safe. But as far as pre-existing injury, I don't see anything here. If he's that injured, why is... Okay, that was a little weird, but that looks like he's got something on his foot that he brushed off, see? Like he brushed it off with the second. That could look a little weird. So nothing weird here. Nothing weird there. Oh, is it the second one? Okay, it's not yet. And see, these are all moves he's practicing, and he's easily doing. No issue with loading weight. Yeah, he's just brushing something off his toe. See how his left foot is brushing off his toe? Yeah, it's nothing. And then he's walking normally. Turning normal. Like, it looks like he has no concern about the load bearing of either. Now, obviously, he's not going to be going full power in warm-up, but this is decent power. Like, he's throwing decently hard here. I mean, look at that. There's no issue with bearing any weight. Like, if he was going super slow, like, that was a little slow, but watch how hard he goes right here. He kind of amped it up. And obviously, he's not going to go 100% and exhaust himself before the fight, but... So, he's doing all of these things with no issue whatsoever pre-fight. For the people that are saying there's a pre-existing injury.
That's...
Unless he's on a ton of painkillers. But again, that doesn't... whether he's feeling pain and grimacing or wincing, that's a separate issue from whether or not his knees can bear weight.
Same leg was capable of moments earlier, then compare it to what happens after this landing in the ring. McGregor launches into a flying...
And again, that push-off, like, if you're injured, are you going to be doing this if you're injured? Like a full-power, dynamic, explosive push-off,
roundhouse, leaving the
then
right
another
leg
full-speed, dynamic push-off off of your previously broken foot?
to absorb the landing. As he descends, the right foot lands flat and externally rotated with the knee shallow flexed, limiting force.
I don't think I would want to land with my foot turned that far out. That's just too much torque on the knee.
Absorption. His trunk leans back and away, shifting body mass outside and slightly behind the base. With the foot briefly anchored, downward momentum drives axial compression. Here the ACL becomes critical, connecting to the femur and tibia, restraining forward tibial translation and rotation. The right leg must decelerate and stabilize his rotating body as the knee loads into valgus, combining compression and rotation into multiplanar ACL strain.
I mean, this really is a scientific breakdown. This is a truly scientific breakdown. Austin MP says, making an Irishman fight in the summer desert, not his fault. Oh, man.
If that load exceeds ACL capacity, it can rupture or lose restraint. restraint. Right here, tibiofemoral alignment abruptly shifts. The tibia appears to translate forward.
Fair use, obviously. I mean, look at all this fair use on the screen. Has anybody seen more fair use than this amount of fair use going on right now on the screen? All the fair use.
And rotate before the knee dives inward and buckles. A pivot shift type collapse. As the leg unloads, the joint...
Yeah, something happened. Yeah, it's on the unload. Yeah, this guy's got a point. It's not on the landing, it's on the unload.
Centers, making the abnormal alignment transient. If ACL restraint is lost, reloading or rotating can shift the tibia again, setting up repeated buckling. First, he pivots on the injured right forefoot for another left roundhouse. As he reloads the rotated leg,
But this guy missed the other... There was another kick or punch before this where it held up, but on this one it didn't.
Drops inward and buckles. Now, a major landing is no longer required. Simply loading and rotating over the planted right leg triggers another buckle.
And he also missed the one before where he didn't buckle.
Finally, he loads and turns over it once more. The knee gives, he unloads it, and the fight stopped. From kick to punch to basic weight transfer, progressively smaller loads reproduce the instability. So what about the pre-fight clip? He avoids catching his balance with the right leg. Possible discomfort, caution.
But then he caught it there. That's the thing, though. Not only did he, if you're saying he avoided stepping on it, but then he steps on it here, and then he's constantly stepping on it in the pre-fight. So that's kind of weird. It looks like he just lost his balance, because if you don't want to step on your shoe and twist your ankle, right? So did he hop to avoid stepping on his own shoe here?
He avoids catching his balance with...
Yeah, because if he fell forward and stepped on the shoe...
the right leg.
Although he could have stepped back there, so I don't know.
Possible discomfort, caution, or habit.
But then he stepped there.
But that doesn't prove a pre-fight ACL tear. More importantly, his warm-up shows that leg tolerating the same planting and rotation it repeatedly fails to control after the opening landing. The biomechanics align with McGregor's injury-free account. Really unfortunate what we saw here tonight. Wishing Connor a safe...
So, that's a good point. Now, here's the thing. Let's look at another angle here, and the guy didn't really explain exactly why that happened. He explained how it happened. But let's look at a different angle here. So here's an above angle. And fair use here, obviously. Nothing but fair use here.
So as he steps forward...
So he's clearly practicing the same kick in the warm-up. So here's my theory. I don't know if I said it last night or not. I think he was going for another record KO. He wanted a fast KO. Because look how hard he goes out here. He explodes out the gate. He wants to kill Max. Look how hard he's kicking. Now, if you've ever done a kick, forget about a jump kick, like a non-jumping kick. If you kick really, really hard and you miss, the inertia is going to throw all of your weight off balance. He went so hard. I think he truly believed he was going to land it. And when he didn't, look how far off he is here. Yep. That inertia is just destroyed his knee. And call me crazy, when you're going that hard and you miss the kick, that's why in most fights, like if you watch kickers like Barboza or even Krokop, like most of the time, especially for any kind of jump kick, Bojanski was a pretty awesome K1 kickboxer, they're not going to load that hard. They're going to go medium, because you could still do serious damage with medium power. They're usually, if they load that hard, they're gonna twist through the kick. They're not gonna stop the momentum, like a roundhouse spinning all the way around. Same thing with a hook kick. If you're going super, super hard, you're gonna 360 it. You're not gonna try to catch and stop it, and that's exactly what happened right here. And I don't think that has anything to do with McGregor's age. I think a McGregor of any age could potentially stop, because he was just going way too hard. Look at the follow-through. The momentum has nowhere to go, and it's all on the knee, and not just downward on the knee, and then the unload, as the video we just watched. And it doesn't even complete. And see, here he has to finish the spin here. See? If he had finished it in the air, his knee wouldn't have taken all that torque of the momentum of trying to take Holloway's head off. So that's really what happened. That's not my full theory. I have more pieces of the puzzle here that I believe impacted this. But that's the main story here, is I think he truly believed he was going to hit Max with
Now
this.
watch his right leg.
Like, look how far forward he went. Like, he really exploded, and he didn't miss him by much. Like, Max really got out of there, and Max said, I think in the interview or the post-fight press conference, he said he was ready for that, and that's why he backed away so fast. So, Max was anticipating a charging Conor. Maybe not a kick, but he was anticipating having to backpedal very quickly, and he did that extremely well. And even look at his right arm. His right arm is up to the head, so it looks like he specifically did anticipate a kick.
Right.
And so, and obviously, if that landed, now here's the thing. All the people with Conor derangement syndrome on Twitter spiraling out and all of that. One second here.
Right there.
So, yeah, so that's really the story here.
Yep, you can
He just overextended, and that momentum has nowhere to go, so it went into the knee, and even then, as soon as he lifted the knee, he still has a ton left, which is why he spins out here. If he had completed that spin in the air before landing on the knee, then that knee wouldn't have had to take all of that, and it wouldn't have buckled. Austin says he should have just jabbed first. The kick wouldn't have even done... I think he would have knocked Max out easily with that kick. The amount of power on that, if Max didn't backpedal that fast, credit to Max. Look, because Max is going forward, and look how Max's reaction time. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna call Max slow. Like it just looks like, look at that reaction. He just realized what was going on right here. Look at Max, and now he shifts back super quick. Imagine if he hadn't shifted back like that, he would have been done. If he had still been charging forward, and here McGregor overcommits here. So look at, he sees Max going forward, and now, this is super slow motion, by the way, because McGregor exploded fast. Here, he basically goes full sprint. He's going max speed into this. And look at Max recognize and then back. If Max hadn't shifted his weight back,
Watch his right leg.
He would have been knocked out by that. Because McGregor is actually several feet forwards from where Max was. So credit to Max for recognizing that. But this could have easily been an Aldo situation. And then all the McGregor haters would be singing a different tune, because Austin MP says, if timing was 100% perfect, Max is tall, long way for Conor early. Yeah, I don't think, yeah. Well, then again, I mean, see, it was a little different with Aldo, because Aldo seemed way more triggered, so he was going in to kill Conor. If Max was as triggered as Aldo and going in to kill Conor and wasn't going to back up no matter what, I think Max would have been knocked out right there. So props to Max's fight IQ here. Props to his fight IQ. But that's really the issue. And if McGregor just really overextended the spin, and his momentum is being carried right into the knee, and it's still, and then it had to finish. So he twisted around. So if you're gonna go that hard, like Barboza does that too, but Barboza spins it all the way around. He doesn't just crash it onto his knee. And obviously Barboza is a way better kicker than Conor McGregor. But I think McGregor just got so overzealous, like being out so many years, and he really wanted to make a statement. And I think his ego really wanted like a record fast KO. Obviously that's not the way to get it. I mean, the way to get it is with his hands, if he's going to get it. And it would have been a lot more safer too for his knees. So again, my opinion, I don't think this has anything to do with Conor's age or layoff. I think Conor prime Connor, I think the same thing would have happened. That's just way too much power for the knee. Like, it's too awkward of a land. I don't think anybody could really handle that. I mean, the thing is about really good kickers, that's not going to happen, so their knee doesn't have to handle it. But I'm not sure any knee could handle going that hard and not spinning through before the landing. So that's just, you know, Connor's just not the greatest kicker. I don't think anybody ever claimed he was. Like, he's not the best kicker out there. Maybe he was watching too many Bruce Lee movies. Can't blame him for that. But yeah, his hands are his best weapons, for sure. All right, so now let's go into the next exhibit here. And I think this is a huge problem. Wait a second, there's one more thing. So before I get to my theory, first of all, look at the wet spots on the canvas. And again, this affects Max as well, but you have like wet spots here. I don't know if that's sweat or water. You have blood that hasn't been cleaned off. Other smudges. So by the end of the night for the main event, like, I don't know why they do such, and it's not just for this event, for every event, they do such a poor job of cleaning the canvas, and then they're surprised when fighters are slipping all over the place. Now, I don't know how much of a factor that was, because, like, I don't think it was a zero factor, but I don't think it was, like, a huge factor. However, since this is MINDSHOCK, we are comprehensive and exhaustive, I will bring up the next exhibit. Look at how much fog and smoke. So again, we're talking basic physics here. Like, a lot of goofs are going to say, oh, the fog machine had nothing to do with it. But again, the condensation deniers, I mean, look at this. This is crazy. Like, the amount of fog. Like, do people not realize, like, this is condensation and it's gonna make the canvas slippery? Like, look at the amount of smoke here. Also, Connor's doing the Billy walk. Look at Connor doing the Biggie walk, the Billy walk, Biggie. The Billy walk, the billionaire walk, which is kind of funny because we just watched Vince McMahon get his quads blown out. Look at that swag. Full weight bearing on both knees. Look at that. Look at that. How many people with blown ACLs and MCLs are going to walk like this? I mean, I just don't know. But notice the amount of fog. And look at that. That's right on the canvas floor, too. Like, the condensation. Like, why do they do that? And again, it's going to affect Max Holloway, too. Like, why would they do that? Why would they do... And again, all the blood stains and sweat stains on the canvas. Again, I really don't think that was the primary, but it possibly could have exacerbated the issue. Especially on some of the other slips. For whatever reason, I don't see it as a major issue on the first kick, but on some of the other ones, some of the other slips, I think it might have been contributing to it. So that's the Bruce McGuire theory, that this was just an overextended kick because Connor wanted to finish the fight early and get another record for, like, fastest jump kick KO or whatever. Welcome, Malcolm. But the amount of smoke in here and fog, like, what is this? Like, they really went to town with this smoke machine. Did Connor even wipe his feet? Because I know a lot of fighters wipe their feet when they get into the octagon. I mean, that's just an obscene amount of smoke and fog. I mean, that's just obscene. Look at that. Look at that. Like, they really shouldn't do that. And then it's all over the place. Now, he didn't slip during the Billy walk, but again, the condensation's still building up. Like, it's still on the floor of the canvas. I don't know, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know why more people aren't talking about that. I mean, look at that. It's all over the floor of the canvas. That's a lot of fog. What do people think that is? Do they think, like, condensation doesn't magically happen? They need to have a meter, a condensation or slip meter on the canvas for blood, sweat, smoke, fog, whatever. Like, what is going on? Austin MP says Aldo was great defense. First drew him in. Connor's prime hasn't started yet. Oh, Austin MP, you might be one of my favorite MMA posters here. Connor's prime hasn't started yet. That is phenomenal. You know what's crazy, though? I don't know if I would claim it hasn't started, but I think I might be comfortable with saying I'm not sure it ended. I think prime Connor jacks up his knee the exact same way if he overextended that far on a kick. Because that's just, he really looked like he thought he was going to take Max's head off. Like, for anybody out there, even with a punch, try to imagine an opponent in front of you and try to punch him in the head as hard as you can and watch what happens when they're not there, like you don't hit. It's going to throw you off balance hard. And the harder you punch, the more it's going to throw you. Basic physics. Basic physics. So that was the issue here. So wishing Connor a speedy recovery. And just real quick for the goofs out there getting triggered by saying, and here's an older picture. This isn't from this fight, but this is from a previous fight. Just look how much fog and smoke is in the ring there. I mean, that's a lot. His Billy Walk is hilarious, though. It's a lot. They need to stop doing that. Like, even if it was only 1% contributing, I don't know if I'm willing to say it was 0% contributing. I don't think it was majority contributing. It might have been anywhere between 0 and even 10% contributing. We'll see what he says. But, yeah, for all the goofs out there, again, Connor might be a complete scumbag who has assaulted many people. But the one case that's curious, and again, I didn't make this meme and I'm not claiming he's innocent, but here are the facts. And the first one has nothing to do with anything. Nikita Hand messaged McGregor first, sending lewd photos and offering to come to his hotel. This is irrelevant. Just because she did that doesn't mean she couldn't have been assaulted and her consent violated. Now, here are the two issues that are more glaring. CCTV shows her kissing Connor both before and after the incident. She also asked the court to stop McGregor from posting the footage. I wonder why. Because the footage isn't like the elevator in the garage. We're not talking about any footage of the actual assault. Nobody wants to see that. Well, that shouldn't be out there, obviously. We're talking about the footage way after. Nothing says the court is comfortable with its verdict like trying to censor and prevent all actual evidence which is clearly shown to the contrary of the alleged victim's claim. This is BBC News here. McGregor banned from sharing Nikita Hand CCTV footage. Again, look at any other case. They always release the footage before and after incidents. Obviously not. I mean, sometimes the actual incident itself, but, that I don't think that should ever be released. But, before and after, if it's actually evidence. The tampon is irrelevant because when about an hour after Connor left the party, she slept with another man twice, meaning it could just as easily have come from him. Now, here's the other issue that the retard Max... Okay, whatever happened with however rough the encounter was, do these retard Maxers think that there couldn't have been a tampon issue with a rough encounter if it was consensual? Like, do these retard Maxers, like, they don't know that there's people out there that like it rough or whatever? I mean, again, I'm not saying that is what happened, but how do these retard Maxers know that's not what happened? Like, basic logic 101. I know all these retard Maxers are logically illiterate. The burden of proof is on positive claims. Like, where's the evidence that he's guilty? He's innocent until proven guilty. So maybe he's guilty, but where's the evidence? So, and I don't know about the exact encounter with the other guy, but she was hanging out with the other guy after, like, which is kind of weird. Now, she claims she was intoxicated. Now, again, the retard Maxers are like, oh, he took advantage of an intoxicated woman. Well, he's intoxicated. So they're both intoxicated. I mean, I don't know what people come to hotels for. Like, did she just want to go to his hotel room, for reading club? Or to play cards? Like, and then he violated her will? Like, is that, or like, what were they doing? Were they going to play Jenga while they're, all intoxicated? Like, what is the basis for going to his room? So here's where it does get kind of dicey. Because just because you consent to an encounter doesn't mean you consent to a rough encounter. So again, it's just basic logic here. I'm not claiming any of this is true or untrue for the retard Maxers. Basic logic, basic questions here. If she consented, like, let's say Connor was like, oh, I like it rough. And she said, oh, I like it rough too. So, but not super rough. And so, what if she consented to 7 out of 10 roughness and intoxicated Connor dialed it up to an 8 or 9 out of 10, either intentionally or not, because if he's coked out of his mind, he might think it's the 7 that they both consent to. But maybe her 7 and his 7 out of 10 are not the exact same 7. Like, how do you handle that situation? It's dicey, right? It's a completely different situation than all these, like, legitimately real victims that consent to nothing. But if she consented 7 out of 10 rough encounter and Connor dialed it up to a 7.5 or an 8, like, what does that mean? And did he do so intentionally? And how do you legislate that? Like, how do you try that in court? And then again, why are they preventing the CCTV being released where she's all friendly with Connor after the encounter? So then if she sees bruises after the fact and she's like, wait a second, so is it possible everything was consensual and they both thought it was a 7 out of 10 and everybody was happy until she saw her bruises an hour later? And an hour later, she sees the bruises and she's like, oh, wait a second, he must have gone 8 out of 10 instead of 7 out of 10. Well, now consent is withdrawn. How do you handle that situation legally? And again, if you're trying to prove something, how do you prove that the other guy... Well, let me get his exact name because it is out there. So she claimed that the other guy, so it's James Lawrence, friend and co-defendant. So she eventually claimed that they both assaulted her, which is kind of weird. So the jury found that Lawrence did not assault her. Now, I guess, so here's the other thing too, like how much money does Lawrence have? Because obviously people go after rich people. I mean, anybody not born yesterday, like, knows that people make false allegations against rich people for money. So James Lawrence, so then that allegation is false or there's not enough evidence. So how can you prove McGregor is responsible for the roughness, let's say 7.5 or higher, if she only consented to 7, hypothetically? Again, I'm not claiming any of this is true or untrue. Because if you weren't there, you don't know. You're just a hallucinating goof on the internet. Now, you're either a logically literate hallucinating goof or a logically illiterate hallucinating goof, if you're claiming you know something happened. If you're not claiming you know, then you're not logically illiterate. If you are claiming you know without evidence, you're logically illiterate. And all the goofs cope spiral the same way when this is pointed out. Hilariously on Twitter. Again, check out my Twitter to watch all these goofs melt down in their projection cope spirals. Like, some of these goofs, like, their humiliation fetishes are so extreme. They start revealing all these issues they have with their mothers. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Man, psychology is interesting. So anyway... Again, maybe McGregor is guilty. Maybe he's guilty of assaulting 20 other people. Like, he was kind of like, there are other cases. Like, didn't he beat up that old guy? And, like, his behavior has been horrible and abhorrent. And maybe he is an assaulter and abuser. But is he in this case? And again, these brain-dead logical illiterates retard back saying, like, just because someone's a murderer doesn't mean they're guilty of every single murder they're accused of. That's where evidence comes in, right? Because a guy who killed 10 people, then he's accused of killing this other person. Like, if the evidence is not there, maybe somebody else killed the other person. Yes, he killed 10 other people. If that was factually proven, then that's factually proven. That doesn't mean he killed this person. That's why every case, you need actual evidence, not hearsay, not intoxicated mumbo-jumbo, and not suppressing and censoring the little evidence that there is, especially when that evidence shows the opposite of the narrative being presented. But again, it is kind of a legal conundrum, because if she consented to 7 out of 10 roughness and he dialed it up to 7.5 or higher, like, I mean, that's kind of weird. And then the other thing that's weird is if they both thought it was kind of a 7 in their intoxicated stupor, and only when she saw bruises an hour later, all of a sudden she's like, oh wait, it's not consensual. But how do they know that this other guy didn't cause the bruises or the tampon issue or whatever? Kind of weird. Kind of weird. Again, just basic logical questions here. Everybody is guilty until proven innocent, and the burden of proof is on positive claims. One is not called upon to prove a negative. Oh, I didn't put up the receipt about the censoring. Hold on one second. Oh, I did? Or did I read this before? Yeah. So that's curious. Nothing says the court like, the court stands by its decision as censoring all available evidence. I mean, just the goofery. The goofery. Is Conor McGregor innocent? I'm not claiming he is. That's a meme here. I'm just going over the meme here. He could be guilty, but where's the evidence? And again, a lot of these retard maxers, one of them is actually a lawyer. I don't know if he's a DEI lawyer. I forgot his name, but you can check out my Twitter. This goof was cope spiraling for like 20 minutes straight. And, or longer, just revealing all these things about how pathetic he is in his projection cope spiral. Claimed to be a lawyer, but the goof doesn't know the difference between a criminal and a civil case. So in a civil case, a preponderance of evidence, that literally means 51% to 49%. That it's plausible that McGregor could theoretically be guilty, which is true, right? They did prove that both of these people were in the same place at the same time. They did prove that. There's witnesses, there's CCTV. The question is, what was the exact consent and the level of consent? And was it retroactively withdrawn upon the discovering of bruises? Or was it a plan all along? Did she go into his DMs? Like, we didn't hear the conversation. Maybe she told him she likes it rough to set him up. Again, I'm not claiming that's true in any way like the retard maxers. I'm just asking questions. If that is true, how do you prove that? And for those that haven't checked out my podcast on false allegations, it's over 40% by almost all metrics. The amount of false allegations are over 40%. And I don't know if they did an independent, like, breaking that down on allegations against rich men versus non-rich men, because there's a lot of rich guys who are also scumbags, and they get off on, like, the power trip of violating people, and they think they can get away with it with money. So obviously we're not going to spam fallacies hallucinating that just because a rich guy can easily get a ton of women, that he wouldn't necessarily assault someone. But again, a lot of these retard maxers, these are the same people going after Trump, who again could be guilty of a million different horrible crimes. But it's like they only want to fixate on the one or two cases where there's clear evidence against the accuser. Because E. Jean Carroll is saying that she's a massive Apprentice fan. I mean, I don't know. How many people are a massive fan of the TV show with a guy that assaulted them? I mean, I don't know. Call me crazy. But again, the burden of proof is on positive claims. So that's their analysis here. So yeah, plenty more MMA to come. And I still need to do a deep dive on the Mike Tyson case, too, because a lot of goofs hallucinate that he was guilty. When Mike Tyson freely admits, like, all of his scummy behavior, pretty much the only thing I think he ever said in his life that he was accused of that he didn't do, out of the main accusations, was, of course, the Desiree Washington situation. And again, I mean, I don't know why Desiree Washington's going to his hotel room. I mean, was Jenga around back then? Like, do all these women just want to play Jenga with these guys in hotel rooms? Like, and these guys are just such scumbags. They're just taking advantage of these trustful women who just, all they want to do is play Jenga in hotel rooms, and these guys just want something else. I mean, I don't know. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. Austin MP says he will drive Khabib from the range for one more go after beating Islam. Is Emperor Lord Zed finally back? Emperor Lord Zed is finally back. Where were you last night? Where were you last night? Austin MP says Teddy Atlas said he held a gun to Tyson because he touched one of his family members. Yeah, I don't think Tyson ever denied that, right? The thing about Tyson, I've never seen Tyson, like, Tyson freely, I believe Tyson has never denied that. I remember reading, like, a few different books about it. I remember reading Tyson's book as well. I don't think Tyson denied that. I think, what did he do? Like, he squeezed her butt or something? I don't think Tyson denied it. Austin MP says, no, Tyson said he was sorry. Emperor Lord Zed says, yeah, but Mike was like 14 then. I think he was older. I don't think he was that much older, but he was older. But I think the main issue was that he looked like a full-grown man versus actual age. But yeah, and so yeah, he was a couple years old. Okay, hold on. Let's get the receipt on that, because it would be really scummy if he was a lot older. Was he a teenager? Oh, he was 15. Oh, wow. She was 11, though. She wasn't 14. It's weird. I heard it reported that she was 14. And he was 15. Atlas was 26 himself. So Atlas was pretty young as well. This is weird. So YouTube ESPN said that it was an 11-year-old? What? That's really messed up. So he was 15. Okay, this is weird. Now I see another reference where she's 12. Okay, so I don't know if we're ever going to know how old she is. So if he had just turned 15 and she's 12, almost turning 13, I don't know. What do people think about that? I guess it depends on what she looks like, but... Christopher Allen says, I haven't heard this story before. Oh, it's a famous story. Teddy Atlas pulled a literal gun on Mike Tyson. Like, it was crazy. And then Customato got pissed off. We got to go over that in the Mike Tyson deep dive. Emperor Lord says, I never get notified when you're live no matter what I try. I haven't been avoiding on purpose. Are you on Patreon? At least join the Patreon free tier. Patreon will give you all the updates. Patreon free tier. Totally free. You get all the updates. Your antics have been greatly missed, Lord Zed. Lord Zed's like an OG. Yeah, I just dropped the Patreon link. Austin MP says, Teddy said he told Cuss, I don't care what y'all do at your house, but we need more information. Was she 12, almost turning 13, and did he just turn 15? Because then that's a 2-year difference, approximately. That's not horrible at their ages. But also, did she look super young, or did she look older than she was? That could be a little weird. But I don't know. I don't think there's any other story of Tyson, like, trying to prey on kids or anything like that. So maybe she looked a lot older. And he didn't even know how old she was. And again, when you look at Tyson, like, even at 15, he kind of looks like a fully grown man. So, like, the optics are crazy there. So, yeah. That's crazy. But I don't think he did anything that bad. Like, I think he kind of, like, pinched her or something. I mean, obviously that's bad, but that's not the same thing as, like, you know, a lot of this other crap going on. And if he did it jokingly and she wasn't afraid, if she wasn't, here's the thing, if she wasn't even made uncomfortable and it was just Teddy Atlas going crazy, I mean, that's still kind of weird, but. Yeah, Customato could have definitely, one of the criticisms on Customato is he let Mike Tyson get away with too much stuff, which was kind of true. Because Tyson was hanging out with some shady characters at school, I think, too. Yeah, I read his book. I read a few different books on Tyson. Some of them are fascinating. I forget which one is the best one. There's one that's really, really good. And it kind of goes through everything. But yeah, Tyson, the point is, Tyson admitted everything. Tyson admitted to punching old ladies in the mouth and stealing their purses. He admitted to all the drug. The only thing he was ever accused of that he didn't actually do, that he said he didn't do, was the Desiree Washington situation. And we have to do a deep dive on that because that trial was a complete sham. And there's even, supposedly there's hot mic audio. Well, she wasn't mic'd up, but there was a video camera with a mic running during that, the whole ballroom where Tyson met Desiree Washington for the first time. And supposedly, allegedly, Desiree Washington said something like she's going to trap him for money or something. She made some kind of comments to some of the other girls that she's going to get him or something like that. And so, which is kind of weird. But I don't know. Maybe she really was going to his hotel room just to play Jenga. I mean, maybe that's what people do back then. I don't know. Maybe that's what people want to do with Conor McGregor. Maybe it's all about the Jenga and these scumbags turned it into something else. All right, so thanks again, everybody, for joining us for another edition of MindShock Sports. I'll catch you guys next time. This is Bruce McGuire signing off.